business. So we now heading to chapter 9. So in this chapter, we're going to discuss different competitive pricing approaches. For learning outcomes for this chapter, at the end of this lesson, you'll be able to understand the different types of competitive pricing, like geographical pricing, the map pricing, and the scheme pricing. First, what is competitive pricing? So unlike cost-based and value-based pricing, competitive pricing focuses on market rates offered by competitors. So this pricing method is used more often by businesses selling similar products, since services can vary from business to business, while the attributes of the product remain similar. This type of pricing strategy is generally used once a price for a product or service has reached a level of equilibrium or balance, which occurs when a product has been on the market for a long time and there are many substitutes for that product. In understanding competitive pricing, so businesses have three options when setting a price for a good or service. So option one, set it below the competition. So a business may set the price below the market and potentially take a loss if the business believes that the customer will purchase additional products from their business once the customer is exposed to that offering. So the profitability of the other products can then subsidize the economic loss incurred in the below market price product. So this is also known as the loss leader strategy. When it comes to option 2, at the competition. So a business can choose to charge the same price as its competitors or take the prevailing market price as given. So despite selling an equivalent product at an equivalent price, the business may still attempt to differentiate itself through marketing. Last is option 3. So you can set your price above the competition. So above the competition, pricing requires the business to create an environment that warrants the premium, such as generous payment terms or extra features. Rather than compete on price, the business must compete on quality if it hopes to charge a premium price. When it comes to importance of competitive pricing strategy, first is the market positioning. So it helps businesses position their offerings against competitors. Next is the customer retention. So of course it ensures prices remains attractive to existing and potential customers. And to maximize profit maximization, it balances competitive pricing with profitability and adaptability. It allows businesses to respond to market changes dynamically. We have different types of competitive pricing strategy, and some of them are already discussed on the previous chapter. So first is the penetration pricing. So it's setting a low price to attract customers and gain market share with the plans to increase the price later. We also have the skimming pricing, so introducing a product at a high price and gradually lowering it as competition increases or demand decreases. We also have the match pricing, setting the price equal to competitors to remain market parity. Also have the undercutting, so it is the pricing it lower than the competitors to capture a market share. And also have the premium pricing. It is setting the price higher than the competitors to create a perception of superiority in quality or exclusivity. Easy to decide when it comes to setting a competitive pricing on your business. So we have factors to consider in influencing a competitive pricing strategy environment. So first is the market structure. A perfect competition, we have to or monopolistic competition, oligopoly or monopoly. We have to determine what type of market structure in the industry that we are or yung product natin. Also have to consider the customer's perception. Is it the values customers associate with the product? How, and also the cost structure, production operational cost, and competitors. So you have to consider if the price moves by the direct or indirect competitors. And how about the market trends, so economic condition, the supply chain dynamics, and the consumer behavior. And also, don't forget the regulations, so legal constraints on pricing like price ceilings that are or set by the DTI. We have 6 steps in developing a competitive pricing strategy. First, we have to make a market research. This is to analyze the competitor price and pricing structure. It also helps to understand customer preferences and their willingness or ability to pay. Next is the cost analysis. We have to determine the fixed and variable cost and calculate where or how much is the break-even prices. Next is to identify the target market. So segment the market based on their demographics, their geographics, and their behavior, and tailor pricing strategies for each segment that we identify. Choose the pricing model. So we have to determine with what pricing model or strategy that we're going to use. Is it penetration, scheming, matching, or other strategies? Next is set the price point. So use psychological pricing, discounting, or bundling techniques if needed, or what we identify through our market research. And last is monitor and adjust. So regularly review pricing against the market conditions and competitor action. Then we have to adapt to change it promptly. Um, Advantages of competitive pricing. First is the market competitiveness. So it keeps the business relevant in competitive market, especially when we talk about prices. Next is the customer retention. It appeals to price-sensitive consumers since we are uh, concentrating on the competitiveness of our pricing, whether it's lower or higher or the match up. And also we have the advantage in improved market share, so it helps to capture or retain the market segments. Competitive pricing. First is the risk of price wars. A price war can ensure when competitors retaliating by lowering their prices. Further to yung uh, scenario na your competitors is going to lower their price, then another the next set naman kayo naman mag-lower, tapos bababaan na kayo ng presyo hanggang sa dumating na talagang hindi na nagiging profitable yung inyong business. Next is reduce profit margin. So focusing solely in competing with prices may result in setting the price too low, leading to diminished profit margins. So yun nga, habang bumababa yung price, mas lalo bumababa yung ating profit margin. Next is the lack of differentiation. So competitive pricing may cause businesses to focus too much on the price rather than the unique selling points like the quality, customer service, or innovation. So sobrang focus natin na makipag-compete when it comes to price, we tend to overlook that we also have other USP or unique selling points like sa quality, sa customer service, and also in marketing. So competitive price is ignoring customer perception. So competing on price may not consider customers' willingness to pay a premium or higher quality, whether service or brand loyalty. Next is the complexity and resource intensity. So monitoring competitors' pricings and market conditions requires significant time, effort, and resources. Last is the limited focus on value creation. So businesses may neglect enhancing the product, features, the services, or the customer's experience in favor of competing on the price alone. So masyado tayo nagpo-focus on lowering. Next approach or strategy is the geographical pricing. So this approach is used to consider differences in the cost of production, transportation, and market demand across different geographic regions. So by employing this strategy, businesses can tailor their pricing to different areas to maximize revenue and profit margins. So for instance, a company may charge a higher price for a product in a region where the cost of production is higher or where the demand is high. So conversely, they may charge a lower price in a region where the cost of production is lower or where the demand is low. And so simply this type of approach or strategy is basing the price based on the location, di ba? Sa iba't ibang lugar, iba-iba yung cost of production, iba yung cost of manufacturing, yung raw materials na ginagamit when in producing a certain product. To understand the geographical pricing strategy, we need to discuss the importance of geographical pricing strategy. So first is the adaptability. So it adjusts pricing to local market conditions. Next is the profitability. So it ensures businesses remain profitable despite the variation in costs such as transportation and tariffs. So when it comes to market penetration, it helps to attract customers in specific regions by offering competitive or affordable prices. And when it comes to competitive advantage, it allows businesses to outmaneuver local competitors by tailoring the prices. Have different 8 types of geographical pricing. First is the zone pricing strategy. So it's defined as the different prices are charged based on defined geographical zones. So for example, the shipping costs for closer zones are lower than for distant ones. So di ba pag mas malayo, mas mahal ang transpo compared to those are mas malapit. Next is the FOB or free on-board origin. So prices include shipping to designated point, after which if the buyer bears the additional transportation cost. So example, the FOB of FOB origin, it means the buyer pay for the shipping from the seller's location. So kung umorder kayo sa US, in yung babayaran niya yung kung gano'n yung price niya sa US. So FOB pricing is typically used when the transportation costs are significant and can vary widely based on the distance between the original and the destination. So third type is the uniform delivery pricing. So a flat price is charged to all customers regardless of location, including the shipping cost. So it simplifies the pricing for customers but may reduce profits for distant deliveries. So I'm not quite sure if this can apply to mga food delivery app natin, di ba? May mga certain areas na pare-parehas lang yung kanilang price, or sabihin na natin na when it comes to yung kanilang minimum flat rate. No? So next is yung differential pricing. So charging different prices for the same product or service in different regions based on market demand, competition, and production cost. So it can be used to maximize revenue and profit margins by charging higher prices in regions where the demand is strong and the production costs are high, while also making the product more affordable in regions with low demand and production costs. Fifth type is the freight absorption pricing strategy. Dito yung seller absorbs all or part of the shipping cost to offer a uniform price across regions. So it often used to penetrate distant markets. So the seller essentially absorbs the cost of shipping, which can make the product more attractive to buyers in distant location. Next is the basing or basing point pricing. So prices for the product are based on the cost of shipping from a specific location known as the basing point. The price is then just adjusted based on the distance between the basing point and the buyer's location. So commonly used in industries where shipping costs are significant factors such as steel and cement industries. Basing point pricing can help companies remain competitive in distant markets while accounting for the cost of transportation. Also have the local pricing. So yung prices vary based on local factors such as competition, demand, and the economic conditions. So for example, nito is a product might be more expensive in high income areas. And we also have the international pricing. So different prices are set for different countries or regions accounting for currency exchange rates, import duties, and the market condition. Want to use geographical pricing, you also have factors to consider in implementing this type of strategy. First of all is the transportation cost. We have to calculate the distance, the fuel prices, and the logistic challenges. We also have the market demand. Higher demand may allow for higher prices, while low demand may require discounts. When it comes to competitive pricing, regional competitors pricing strategies influence on how a company sets prices. We have also to consider the economic condition where purchasing power and income levels in a certain region. And we also have the cultural preferences. So may local consumer preferences may dictate price sensitivity. Advantages of geographical pricing is the cost recovery. So it ensures that transportation and logistical costs are accounted for. So, di ba? Minsan, ang consider natin is the cost of production, which is the fixed and variable cost. So when it comes to geographical pricing, lahat ng cost when it comes to transportation ay and logistic ay nasasama natin. When it comes to market penetration, we can tailor the price to attract customers in specific location. Diba? So, sabi nga natin, iba-iba yung ibang location, ibang region, there are certain types of cultural, di ba? Yung kanilang geographical and social demographic. So, we can adjust to um, to attract that type of segment. Also have to consider the customer satisfaction. So you have to align the prices with local expectation and affordability. When it comes to competitive positioning, prices local competitors through strategic pricing and adjustments. Comes to the disadvantages of geographical pricing. First is yung complexity. So managing different prices for the multiple regions can be challenging. So iba-ibang region, iba-ibang lugar, iba-iba yung presyo natin. So medyo mahirap siyang i-monitor or i-manage. Perceive, when it comes to perceived inequality, so customers in higher price areas may feel unfairly treated. Diba? Next is the logistical issue. So high shipping costs for remote location can erode profitability. So yun nga, yung mga infrastructures, we have to consider that. Hindi bukod dun sa distance, no? So madali ba puntahan, mabilis lang ba? Or do we need to use air freight, no? Kung kailangan ba ng helicopter to reach that certain area. And when it comes to legal risk, so risk of violating anti-discrimination or anti-competition law. So when it comes to this, we have some examples. So first yung Amazon. So Amazon uses zone pricing for shipping costs based on buyer's location. When it comes to McDonald's, they adapt prices based on local purchasing power and economic condition in different countries. So kung kayo ay nanonood ng mga vlogs, no, mga food vlogs, when it comes to McDonald's, iba daw yung price actually when you convert it into US dollar to peso. When it comes to IKEA, so they adjust prices globally to reflect the varying market conditions, such as and also such as taxes and the shipping costs. The next strategy or approach that we're going to discuss is the MAP or minimum advertised pricing. So it is defined as setting the lowest price at which a retailer can advertise a product. So it ensures that the product are not advertised below a specific price point, maintaining a brand value and competitive fairness. So the price that can be shown in an advertisement or an online listing is expressly governed by MAP. So as opposed to the retail selling price in store. So for example, if an electronic brand decided the MAP or yung kanyang minimum advertised price for a particular cellphone model is 15,000 pesos, so the distributors and resellers both online as well as in-store are obligated to offer the product for 15,000 or above. So meaning when it comes to map pricing, no? So hindi ka pwedeng magbaba doon sa advertised na price, no? Hindi mo pwedeng magbenta ng mas mababa doon sa tinakdang presyo ng producer or the reseller. Okay? So map pricing is to protect, first of all, is to protect the brand value and reputation, and to maintain the fair competition among resellers or retailers, and to prevent price wars that could erode the profit margins. That's a map policy work. So first is the establishment. So manufacturers are set a minimum advertised price for their products and communicate this to retailers. Then, when it comes to enforcement of this policy, the retailers are monitored to ensure compliance. So, violations may result into penalties such as withholding future inventory or termination of their agreements. And when it comes to scope, MAP applies to advertised prices, not the actual selling price. So, advertise lang, hindi sa retail price. Retailers can still sell below the MAP in private transactions. On the clear elements of MAP policies, so first is the price threshold. So a specific minimum price below which are the product cannot be advertised. So when it comes to communication, a clear and transparent guidelines are provided to retailers. And for the enforcement mechanism, so a process to monitor and address violation including penalties for non-compliance. The benefits of MAP offers is to the stakeholders. So on the part of the manufacturers, it ensures the brand consistency and prevent price erosion. To retailers naman, the levels of the playing field, especially for smaller retailers competing with larger ones. And when it comes to the consumers, it promotes fair pricing and prevent ultra low quality retailers from dominating the market. When it comes to the challenges of MAP versus the enforcement of MAP, so it's very difficult to monitor the compliance across multiple channels, especially online. When it comes to retailer pushback, resistance from retailers who want to more pricing flexibility, kung gusto nilang itaas or gusto nilang ibaba yung price according to MAP. And then when it comes to legal risk, the potential scrutiny from competition authorities if policies are too restrictive. Kumbaga parang mas masyado sila nahihigpitan, so nandiyan papasok yung mga legal strategy or approach is the price scheming. So this is already discussed from our previous chapter. So price scheming again is a strategy used for product pricing in which the company charges the highest possible price initially and then eventually brings down the price over the time to target more price-sensitive customers. So, di ba ito yung magsiset ka ng hanggat kaya mong itaas, tataas mo siya, and then paunti-unti, bababaan mo na siya. From the previous chapters, the objectives of price scheming is first is the profit maximization. So, to capture maximum profits from the early adopters who value the product highly, and for the part of market segmentation that differentiate customers based on their willingness to pay. When it comes to cost recovery, it quickly recover high developed or marketing costs, especially for innovative products. That's why this type of strategy or approach are best suitable for technology. Diba? Yung una natin example ito is yung Apple products. When it comes to brand positioning, can position the product as high-end or premium in the market since the price is much higher than their other competitors. When it comes to competitive advantage, it establishes a foothold in the market before competitor can respond due to it is developed or based on highly developed or research, no, mga bagong-bago. So, ang example nito na pasok or uh, kailangan talaga when it comes to product is mga technology products like smartphones, diba, yung Apple product, mga gaming console, and other innovative gadgets na bago. And with high prices, they can decrease or the high price can decrease when newer models are introduced. Diba, ganyan nangyayari sa iPhone. Pag dumating na yung susunod na unit, mas bumababa na siya. It also applicable to pharmaceuticals, yung mga gamot, mga bagong gamot na ini-introduce sa market is always high in price, especially do sa mga newly invented or discovered na gamot. And also, it also applies on luxury goods like designer fashions or high-end vehicles that can start at a premium price to enhance exclusivity. Have the phases of the price scheming, or you can say the life cycle. First is the introductions phase. So it set the price high to the target early adopters. It leveraged the marketing to highlight the product's unique value. So on the next stage is the growth phase. So lower the prices slightly as competition emerges or the production cost decreases. So it also expands to more price-sensitive customer segments. Stage is the maturity phase, so we further reduce the prices to attract the mass market and also to sustain the profitability through economics of scales. Comes to advantages of price scheming is first and foremost is the perceived quality. Di ba nga mataas ang price natin, so in price scheming, it build the high quality image or perception of the product. Next is the cost recuperation, so it helps a firm quickly recover its cost of development. Next is the high profitability, so it generates a high profit margin for the company, especially on the first stage of the life cycle of schemes product or the price scheming products. Next is the vertical supply chain benefit. It helps the distributors earn a higher percentage of price scheming. Nandiyan yung limited market size since we are offering with the high prices. It may exclude many potential customers initially. So it also encourages competition. So high profitability can attract competitors. Diba? Pagka ang isang business naman, pag kumikita na malaki, ang nangyayari ay dumadami ang kanilang competitors. Next is the customer dissatisfaction. So early customers may feel alienated when prices drop significantly. Diba kayo naman yun, pag kayo unang bumili ng, but binili ko siya ng ganitong presyo at naman, then later on you will know that na, ay, binaba na pala yung presyo. Parang tayong, inisip nyo na parang tayong naloko. The next is the risk of failure. So if demand is overestimated, the strategy can lead to losses. So since we are investing on development and research, and if we overestimate yung ating demand for the product, it can may lead to risk of failure. So that's it for today for our chapter 9. So we're going to have our face-to-face quiz next meeting. So again, thank you for those who are listening and watching this video lesson.